Today I'm gonna be replacing the lifters. It's a good time to do that. I already cleaned the pistons. There was a lot of carbon buildup done, and before I could start assembling it now, but before I do that, I might as well replace the lifters right here. Now these lifters, I do hear a clicking sound. I know it was a one-time start for oil, so there might be some gunk in there. It's pretty easy to replace. Might as well do it while I'm here. I'm using an 8mm socket. There's two bolts on this side and 2 more holding the other side, for a total of 6 lifters. And we're gonna be using, they come in a set of 4. These are the ones I'm gonna be using. They are already lubricated, so I'm not gonna be soaking them in oil. But I'll show you how I do this. All right, so let me take off the lifters that are basically being held by these things here. So once I get them out, there's a specific orientation I believe they need to be in. So I'll take a closer look and we'll do the same thing. So the lifters have a little orientation, little hole right here. Now it is recommended to put those pointing inwards into the oil valley, but I've also read that for these type of engines, for the Mustang, it doesn't matter. But I will follow the recommendation. Why not? It doesn't hurt. And I do believe it should go down, because when I say down, it's facing towards the pistons. When I take a look in here, on the bottom of the shaft, there is an actual opening, most likely to allow the oil to get into the lifter itself, to apply hydraulic pressure and thus lift the lifter, causing the push rod to lift as well. Right, snapped into place. We tighten those bolts, and we repeat we tighten those bolts, and we repeat the process. Once it's snapped in, it has to snap in, by the way. I'm not sure if I caught that on camera, but that's basically it. And that's it. Today I'm going to be replacing the valve stem seals. This is one of the things I didn't do earlier, but I just realized as I looked at my engine rebuild kit that I had the valve stem seals on there. No big deal, since I hadn't not yet assembled this. I'm still in time to do this, and I can show you how to use this. Now this is one of the tools that I bought at Harbor Freight Tools. One thing I like to do is lubricate a little bit right here, this little screw, the guiding screw here with a silicone, because it gets a little hard to use sometimes. To assist in the process, you can actually use one of these socket wrenches on the top. It makes it a lot easier than using this by hand, because it will destroy your hands, by the way. So let's get to it. Let's do the first one. Also, I'm gonna need a magnet that will help remove the keepers at the top, and WD-40, which we'll use with this guiding little tube, which will lubricate the outside, so when you slide it in, you can slide the valve without damaging the surrounding stem. Okay, so there's a little spring that goes here, so you don't want it to pop out, so it helps to guide it with this, and I'll show you how that works. Let's get one of these off first. So this is a little offset. The way I like to grab onto these is as far as down as I can go with the long one, and this one where you can adjust it, and then you kind of turn it clockwise and keep turning like if you were using a corkscrew as far as you can go, and then you can start compressing the spring. Okay, you gotta make sure it snaps in there. Hold the spring down a little bit. All right, at this point, I just start compressing the spring. See if we can show you. Now, one thing I would recommend before you do that is I like to grab a microfiber towel and put it underneath, below where the valve is at, so it doesn't fall under, and just keeps it in place. Makes it a lot easier. think we can get the keepers off. I think a little bit more. And they're definitely coming off now. There's one. There's two. All right, we'll put these aside for now. Raise the spring, put it aside. Here's your valve stem. I think the easiest way is just to get a set of pliers. And just get it off like that, that's it. And then these, I'm just gonna get rid of them. Here's a new one. Like I said earlier, I like to put a little bit of, on the outside of this little guiding tube, a little bit of WD-40. Alright, so as it goes around, we insert this right here, and this, let us pop it back in. Make sure it's seated all the way down. All right. And we're ready to put the spring back on. So, reverse order, right there. Now, these have an orientation, by the way. Let's see if I can show you. The narrow part goes to the bottom, the wider part towards the top, and the grooves need to fit right here. Can be tricky a little bit sometimes. You just gotta be patient. Now, by replacing these valve stem seals, you know, you'll notice, if you have noticed that it was burning oil, this is one of the reasons. Now, what I did here is, once I set them in, I raise the tool, so when I decompress, it actually, I'm still holding the keepers in place, but I'm decompressing the spring going downwards. So now, turn the wrench the opposite direction. And kind of pry it up to the sides to get it out of there. It can be a little tricky. I have to twist. And that's it. We repeat the process for the remaining 11. 6 on this side, 6 on the other head. And that's it.